Good evening and welcome to our June 6th business meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have to say, this is the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Yes, yes it is.
I was
God bless
listening to a
those
lot
men and
of
women.
history today. I don't know, NPR had a lot of history going on today. I just can't, it just seems like 80 years, oh my God. Anyway, okay, the treasurer's report for April 2024 is available in the business office. I would like to open it up for public comment on any of the agenda items. I don't see any, so we're going to move to the consent agenda. Item number 1.
Resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent of schools to approve agenda items 2 through 14 is contained on the consent agenda for this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments?
The board is approving minutes of the May meetings, CSE, CPSE placements, an updated 23-24 substitute listing, additional hours for a staff member, unpaid days for 2 staff members, approval of a budget transfer, approving an agreement with Dutchess Community College, appointing the Board of Education meeting videographer, Dan Mahoney, for the next upcoming school year, approving and/or amending 2024 summer workers and programs, which include the department workers that are hired over the summer in maintenance and the tech departments, additional work days for a business office part-time worker, and the ESY workers for this current summer, upcoming summer. And we're amending one previously approved summer boost program teacher at the elementary school. We're approving a overnight trip in athletics. The track and field athlete is on her way up to Syracuse through Saturday. We're appointing members of the 2024-25 district safety team, which includes the members of the Board of Ed, administrators, teachers, CSEA, and parents. And we're approving the reclassification of 2 high school extracurricular activities as clubs, and that is the Olympiad and Mandarin. And that is it.
Thank you. I will make 2 comments, even though we don't usually comment on the consent agenda. One, the appointment of Dan as the videographer. I have gotten so many comments from people who say, we watch a lot of board meetings and yours are the best done. So thank you, Dan, for all you do. It really matters that people get a good view. What was the other one? I've lost it now. The child that's going up to the overnight trip, she was escorted today out of town, yes, by the fire and police department, and I'd like to thank them for that. It's always great to do for the students, so we appreciate that, the effort that our volunteers do to add to their excitement. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolutions pass. Presentations, I'm going to ask Mr. Wood of our internal auditor firm to tell us about our audit.
Thank you, Barbara. For your introduction, my name is Justin Wood. I am the internal auditor for the district. This is my 2nd year performing the internal audit. From Nugent and Hauser PC accounting firm. We are out of Montgomery, New York. That's in Orange County, New York. Before I get started, I would like to thank Jill and also Agata, the district treasurer, and Gail, the high school extra activity treasurer, and Karen, the middle school extra classroom activity treasurer. All of them were a pleasure to work with and provided me with the information that I needed in a timely manner to be able to perform the audit. So I did just want to thank them. This is our last step for the 23-24 year for the internal audit. I performed the risk assessment earlier this year, presented that to the audit committee. They made the selection of the extra classroom activity fund for the focused area for 23-24. This area was selected due to the heavy student involvement and influence over it, and helping students teach them what a business model looks like bookkeeping skills along with entrepreneurship and just overall responsibilities. I went over all of the individual findings with the audit committee, so I won't bore everybody here with those individually. I will say that they emphasized on increased student involvement and increased use of the safeguarding, I don't want to get the exact language, sorry, safeguarding, accounting, and auditing of extra classroom activity funds pamphlet that is supplied by the New York State Education Department. So we talked at length in the audit committee about implementing some of those things. Also, Jill, which is basically unprecedented that the school business official would already write the corrective action plan before I've even presented the report. So she had already had her corrective actions in place before this evening. So I really have to give her credit for that. That was exceptional. Does anybody have any questions on the report or the procedures that were performed? No. In closing, I do just want to thank Jill for being a pleasure to work with over the last couple of years and wish her nothing but the best of luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
a great
Thank you.
summer.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
too.
you for. Okay, so the audit committee, the president of the audit committee,
Call the chairman of the board.
chairman?
Thank you very much. So start off, thank you to Jill as well. It has been, it's been a thrilling experience on the audit committee, as always. And I think, fortunately, I haven't had to be in the position of standing up here and trying to, wring anybody's neck or have to be the bad guy and bring bad news to the community. So that's good, and I think that Jill's work here has really, that's probably one of the biggest motivating factors there. So thank you to everything that you've done, and good luck on your future endeavors. For this audit, as Justin mentioned, there were the audit itself was acceptable. There weren't any significant findings. Most of the findings just involved around ultimately the students' involvement and how they kind of produce output, specifically around the financial accounting, whether that's deposit receipts, acceptance of receipts, and profit and loss statements, which sound like a lot for a extracurricular or extra class activity organization, but it actually is part of the learning process there. So it's life skills that these kids are learning, and I think it's important that the audit committee and that ultimately the board help to reinforce to the supervisors or the moderators of these clubs that it's not just that they're there to supervise the clubs, that actually is a teaching experience or job for them, and it's a learning experience for the students. So that being said, there were really no significant findings. It overall was a good audit. The findings were acceptable, and the board has reviewed Jill's recommendations or responses to those findings, and we concur. And that's it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom.
Board will be asked to accept the report and the findings at the next meeting.
At the next meeting. Okay, all right. Well, our student representatives are missing
They're at the
in
prom.
action because they're at the prom, and thank God the bus to the prom left before the torrential downpour monsoon. I was driving out of my driveway and the water's pouring down my driveway. I'm thinking, even if they have an umbrella, the bottom of their dresses are getting wet, their pants are getting wet, whatever. Anyway, so.
I was thinking of the irony that they did all the drainage work on Pisco Hollow Road, and then they milled the road down below the drains. So there was a river running down the road, going around the drains because the road's currently lower.
Pretty cool, wasn't it? Take a
At least they know exactly where the water's going to go. So once they repave that road, I'm pretty confident it was going right around a lot of drains. So
Yeah.
eventually it'll go in them.
Anyway, so hopefully we'll see our students one more time on our meeting on the 20th.
That would be great.
So, Dr. Luff, that you have nobody to steal your thunder.
I know, finally. I'm going to start going before then. All right, good evening, everyone. So I actually had the opportunity to meet with one of our new board reps. The other one was unfortunately not in school that day, and Reese joined me as well. So it was an opportunity for me to sort of introduce myself to the new board reps, speak a little bit about what the position is, how interested the board and the community is on the student perspective, the fact that they're serving as a liaison for all students of Putnam Valley. And having Reese there was fantastic, helping sort of answer any questions and explain to them what the board's looking for and how it all works. So that was a very productive meeting. I invited them to join us on the 20th. As you know, these students this time of year are very busy schedules, but it's my hope that our 3 current board reps, as well as the 2 new board reps, will be joining us on the 20th. I also met with Mr. Scampoli. They need to hold an election to identify who the 3rd board rep will be. The current model is to seat a senior, but we did have a conversation that if no seniors are interested, that he would try to find a junior. Inherently, that's difficult to find a student who can make a 2-year commitment, unless it's something that they're really interested in. So we'll see how that all works out. We do anticipate having 3, but we know who 2 of them are much earlier than we ever have in the past. So I think that'll be a benefit to us. We had a meeting of our district advisory committee. It was an opportunity to finalize designs for our core values logo, which will be front and center on all of our publications moving forward next year, as well as what ended up becoming a counseling session. Our goal of this year was really around parent engagement. That was our district-wide goal, building a stronger community and engaging parents. And I think the district did fantastic things in terms of providing opportunities, trying new things, but turnout was certainly less than desirable. So I think that was part of our conversation, and I think that sort of the exclamation point of that was the outcome of the budget. And while we're thankful that it passed, we were hopeful that more community would have come out and been engaged, and hopefully there would have been a larger percentage of yes votes versus no votes. But the work will continue. That's a very engaged group. We're actually going to meet over the summer. We talked about trying to. We don't think the district does enough to publicize all of the great things that are going on. And I think one of the ideas that we were sort of running with was the creation of a short video, not necessarily produced by Dan, like 99% of the videos are, but a short video highlighting some of the things that we're thankful for. So we're thankful for the community supporting our budget, and these are the things that are possible because of that support. We think it's important that the community at large understands where their tax dollars are going, what's made possible because of that, and what, in essence, would be at risk if the budget was not passed. So it's something that we're going to sort of write a script for and either work in-house or through BOCES to produce a short video, something that can be played right before back-to-school nights, right before concerts, just a quick little snippet to remind the community, to thank the community for their support, and to remind them what their support makes possible. So that was our vision from the District Advisory Committee. I attended the high school science research end-of-year symposium. It's always super impressive. Our seniors get up on stage and present little snippets of their projects. All the students have their boards up in the library for feedback, and many community members come out and check it out. They do a slideshow. It's just really impressive to see students, high school students, create what I consider postgraduate research projects, and being able to so articulately share what those projects are and the reasons behind them. So that was very exciting and grateful. In fact, many of our 4th grade scientists who won the science fair were in attendance as well. The high school hosted its first IB banquet. So this is a recognition of the diploma candidates. They were able to invite family members. They all gathered up in the library. It looked beautiful. There was speeches, there was awards. The students were given binders showing the culmination of all their work. Spoke about what careers they were pursuing, majors they were pursuing, colleges they were attending. It's something that we've always done sort of during the school day, during a community lunch, which didn't really give it the gratitude it deserves. So we moved it from during the day to after school, invited parents, some staff members were there. There was 80 people in the library, and it really ended up being a fantastic event. So that's something I am positive will continue in the future as a way to recognize those students. Our high school had their senior award ceremony. I know Mr. Mello said over $500,000 in scholarships have been awarded to our students. Many of those scholarship providers were there to issue their scholarships firsthand, and it's always impressive to see all that our students have accomplished. The elementary school, I was invited to attend Putnam Valley Elementary School E&L Bookshare. So this is some newcomers to our district that are now published authors. So working with their teacher, they published their first book. They sat in the front of the room and they got an opportunity to share their book along with the illustrations. It was one of the more joyful events I've attended this year, and I was able to give them feedback afterwards, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to see the work that they're able to produce. Our elementary school has their sustainability fair underway this week. There's been lots of action out in the field outside my office. I'm scheduled to do a session tomorrow morning for fourth graders, but a huge compliment to Ms. Bross and Ms. Bruno for putting that all together. I know they have many faculty members, community members that have volunteered their time to come in and facilitate some of these sessions to help our students better understand what sustainability means. Our high school had their band concert last night. If you could tell, this is the time of the year where we're not home very often. I told my family I'll see them in July. So there's something going on. Usually nights, multiple things going on. Yep. Also yesterday was the P&W BOCE CTE Tech Center graduation that I know was attended by administrators and board members. This morning was the Hudson Valley Chamber of Commerce Scholarship Breakfast. 2 Putnam Valley students were recognized. Ava Harmon and Flaviano Lepresti were honored during that breakfast. They had an opportunity to get up and say a few words themselves, so that was something really special. Mr. Mello and I were able to attend. Maybe the greatest show in the whole district, the kindergarten show, took place today at the elementary school. They did their dress rehearsal with students this morning, and then the parents were there this afternoon. If you can't smile watching that, you're probably broken. Senior prom is tonight, so that's where our student reps are. And also this evening is the Putnam Valley Middle School has their arts, technology, and music talent show taking place next door. As we had mentioned, Abby Hausgen was had her send away today for the New York State Public High School Athletic Association State Championships in track and field. She'll be running the 400. And in speaking with Mr. Kanchowitz this morning, he thinks no pressure. She's got a good chance at beating the school record for the 400. We finished our screenings for our athletic director, and we have a committee assembled for committee interviews and a demo next Wednesday. So that process continues to move forward as we seek a replacement for Mr. Kanchowitz. And Dr. Grace Chan joined us today and met with the district and business office staff members as well as our external auditors. And she has a couple more transition days built in before she starts full-time on July 1st. What else we have coming up? We have high school awards tomorrow. Our freshman, sophomore, and junior awards taking place tomorrow. Next Monday is our Athletic Hall of Fame and Sports Awards. Mr. Kanchowitz promised me that it will be under 2 hours. He's shooting for an hour and a half. Our inaugural one, well, very special event, lasted about 4 hours. So we are streamlining that event, and we are getting it down. So we can recognize our students and our Hall of Fame recipients in under 2 hours. That's our goal. I know we spoke a little bit about the Metro, so just a reminder, the actual Metro Awards will take place on Monday, so on the 10th. And we have 4 students nominated in 3 categories for those, including our very own Reese Emery. So next board meeting, we will know the results of that. June 11th is our senior walk through the elementary school. So our seniors are paired with kindergartners, and they walk through the halls wearing their cap and gown at the elementary school. So that's always exciting. And June 12th is our NCAA signing day for any students that will be continuing in athletics in college. We'll have the opportunity to be recognized and take pictures with their family and others. And that's all I got. Thank you.
It's a lot.
Well, that's all I got for now. There's 10 more events after that.
We'll mention them on the 20th. Okay, so new business. Number 1.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of middle school teacher, there we go, Molly St. Thomas from the district, effective the close of business on June 26, 2024, as per document 192/24, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 2, please.
Resolved on the recommendation of the superintendent of schools to accept the resignation of bus driver Dana Cancel from the district, effective the close of business on June 4th, 2024, as per document number 194-24, attached to the agenda and official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. Number 3, please.
Resolved to authorize the following adjustments to the restricted general operating fund reserves as follows, pending the annual audit resulting from 2023 to 2024, remaining unexpended general fund appropriations and revenues. Increase the teacher retirement, district retirement contribution reserve subfund up to 2% of the total compensation or salaries of all teachers employed by the district who are eligible members of the TRS paid during the immediate preceding fiscal year up to $500,000. Increase the capital reserve up to $800,000 for future capital projects. There will be adjustments to the reserve balances for both employers' benefit and liability reserve and tax certiorari reserve pending the results of the audit, and a resolution will follow after the audit is complete.
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolution passes. I'd like to open it up for public comment on any topic. Okay, upcoming meeting, 1, singular.
Yeah, so our next meeting is scheduled for June 20th. The presentation that evening will be an update from our Facilities Planning Committee. So we were going to do it this evening, but the architect had a conflict, was unable to attend this evening, which is part of the reason why there was no presentations this evening. But that full presentation will be given next meeting. We invited members from our Facilities Planning Committee to join us, as well as our architect will be here as well.
Good. Okay, board member comments. Mr. O, you want to start? You
Yeah.
have a list.
You all received a letter from me that I would like the board to take a look at and amend and make any changes. Send them to me, and I'll incorporate those changes into the body of the letter and then ask for your input again. And basically, as you know, it concerns a dire crisis that New York State is facing with teacher shortages. In less than 6 years, we will lose almost the entire high school staff. Many of them started in the year 2000, 2001, 2002. So that means that between 2030 and 2035, we will be seeing new faces if we can find them at the time. There's an acute shortage. New York State has noted this. They're trying to do everything they can to recruit as many instructors as they can, but it's a tough business. COVID drove many of our instructors out because it was such a debilitating educational situation. Also, many, as we see in our own building here at the high school, middle school, the elementary, teachers age out. And when they age out, they retire, and you need replacements. And the replacements are not there, ladies and gentlemen. They're not there. And it's an acute crisis. So I put together a letter, and you all received it, asking the state to take some remedial measures. The first would be maybe providing full or partial scholarships for any student who enters the field of education using a SUNY school. Also, to try to increase the amount of practicum and internship time where an individual who wishes to go into teaching can really see it up close and personal. There's room for classroom instruction, but it's more important for these young people to get in the classroom and see how important and how just fantastic the field of public education is. Also made a couple of other recommendations concerning the retirement. NYSID, God bless them, I love that union. They are slowly chipping away at Tier 6, trying to make it more in line with Tier 4. Perhaps the state could look at this and go a little bit further. The other thing that the state could do is to really promote education. They did that back in the 60s when the baby boomers hit the schools and there was no teachers available. So they gave scholarships out, they promoted education as a great profession to go into, and they were able to cap that loss and have enough instructors available. It's really important, and I asked the board to look at the letter I sent out, make any changes you wish, send them to me. I'll incorporate them, revise it, and send it back to you for your final approval. I think it's important that New York State hear from their boards of education how important this upcoming shortage is going to be, not only for our communities, but for our kids.
And I would agree with almost everything that you said. I just want to make sure that we stay kind of in our lane in terms of, I cannot make recommendations for the retirement system, the monetary, how they figure that out, because I don't understand it, I don't know it. That's something that's
Well, we could
not
ask
our-
them to review
But I
it.
like all the things that you asked that would encourage more people to go
Yeah.
into education. I
Okay.
definitely think that's something that,
I'll revise that retirement thing to make it less, I know what you're saying, less intrusive to their own domain. You just
Well,
ask them
I
to
mean,
review
I-
it. Just
yeah.
take a look at it
well,
and see
I
what
think-
changes they
yeah.
can make. But it's important because we're going to be faced with a real crisis in 5 years. I look at people like Ryan O'Dell and Vinnie DiGregorio and Rob Lathrop. They're up there. They're 23, 24 years right now, and they only have a few more to go before, they're 55 and ready to get out of here. I mean, it's frightening. And we need the replacements. We need the young bodies out there who embrace education. That's the letter. I also I want to say, Dr. Luff, that the best performance I saw all year, and we see tons of great performances, was that kindergarten performance. To see over 80 little kindergartners air guitar that song, Reason to Believe, not Reason to Believe, Don't Stop Believing by Journey, but morphing it into a song that was relevant to Putnam Valley. I was wowed by that. Every song they did, they were so adorable. Oh my God. I just sat there and all like, and the balloons, and they were so happy, and the parents were there. It was great. It was really phenomenal. Also, I did attend, as did many of the administrators, at the ceremony over at the Tech Center. It reminded me of a college graduation. Over 10 minutes to do the Walk of Honor. What did they have? Over 200 graduates, I think, something like that. It was enormous. And the field, they had 4 sections of seating for parents, and there were still parents standing and stuff. And what I liked most is that their little pamphlet listed every award winner, everybody who got a scholarship or college credits, plus their graduate area. In this, literally, it's a booklet, and you may want to take a look at
Yeah,
this or
thank
whatever. I thought that was really cool.
I'm glad you could attend.
Yeah,
That
I
was
was.
really-
It was
And
hot.
you still made the concert.
It was hot, but it was worth it. The
It
kids were
didn't
excited. in the
rain. We're not
band.
going to complain.
No rain.
The skies did not open up. Okay, you also sent us pictures of the trees?
Yeah, as many of you know, if you go to Facebook and you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I posted that butchering job that they're doing to the trees here in the name of green energy. And God bless it, I favor solar panels. Put them on buildings. Put them on, remediated dump areas that are no longer used for dumping. Put them there. Put them in parking lots. I mean, that's a big thing, especially in Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont. They're putting them in parking lots. But don't deforest an old-growth forest. There were trees up there over 100 to 200 years old, old oaks, enormous size. We walked that, Dr. Luff. It broke my heart when I drove by the other day and I saw this massive machine, the scissors, and then they just pick it up, pick it up. It's crazy. And we
did
petitioned,
everything
the
we
town
could.
petitioned,
We
the
did
school
everything we
petitioned. We went before the planning board. I personally was there. I spoke to, the then executive, the supervisor, Matt Slater, hoping that it could be changed, but he has no power. It's a zoning board decision, plus the ordinances put out by New York State that govern utilities, and this is considered a utility. So, the gentleman who owns the property wanted to develop houses there. He couldn't because of wetland ordinances and slope. And yet, the solar panels are exempt from those rulings, which just blows my mind. How could that be? Don't use farmland that's not forested. Don't rip up forests and kill the flora and fauna. It really made me very upset, it did.
I know. But
The most disheartening part is that we were unable to get the buffer that we had requested. So
Exactly.
they literally cut down trees that were like touching our property line. So the wellness trail is now a wonderful view of devastation of fallen trees up to our property line. So we confirmed, Dave had spoken with the project manager who's doing the tree removal, again, who was just hired to do the work.
Yeah, I know.
But he confirmed that there is no replanting going on. They cut down every single tree along our property line and have zero plans to replace a single one of them. They will be replacing trees along Foothill, but not along the boundary with the school. So we've already reached out to the town engineer, and we'll continue to try to pressure them. We hope the community will get involved. And you drive to the end of the parking lot in the middle school, you can see straight through to the and that's before they clear up all the brush and
Right to Foothill, you can see.
and plant, and place metal and glass solar panels. It's going to look atrocious from our campus, and there's no plans right now to put any kind of buffer between us and them other than a metal chain link fence, which will probably make it look even worse.
So wrong. So wrong.
Okay. Crystal,
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
on a more cheerful note,
So, I'm supposed to bring it
can you
back.
bring us up?
I'm gonna bring us up. All right. So, although the trees, they really do matter. They really do, especially to Putnam Valley. Dr. Left, I found one that you didn't mention that I'm so excited to have something to talk about. The fourth grade colonial fair was just amazing. Our students, our staff dressed up in colonial times garb. They each had to basically the teachers put professions from colonial times in a hat. Students had to pick out a particular profession out of a hat. Only one other student in the class got that particular profession, so they had to work together to be able to figure out what it was all about. I learned that a shoemaker is very different than a cobbler, because a cobbler fixes shoes and a shoemaker makes shoes. And the children who did that presentation in the classroom really made me understand the difference and said that it's very important that I take that away from the class. My son was able to discover the printing press, and I thought that was just awesome because we would not have the world we have today without the invention of the printing press. And so it was a wonderful event, and lots of parents came to the school that day, which I thought was great. So we did have great parent participation for that. Also, I wanted to ask, just on Sam's note about the teacher shortage, do we have the WISE program or the PIES program here at the high school so that students can dabble in their senior year in perhaps the profession, any profession really, but internship opportunities for teaching?
So we do not have those two. We do have today's students, tomorrow's teachers.
Okay.
So TSTT is a program we have, and we do have the Journeys program. Only a couple students participate in that, which I think has some similarities to what the WISE program is.
So I would just say if we could maybe advertise that more to students and families, that might be a really great way to start home growing some teachers.
An interest in education.
And I'm wondering if we can put in the letter, I don't know that the state would be able to do this, but there's no harm in asking, right? An incentive, if the state provided an incentive for a pipeline program for teachers for districts. So meaning that we collaborate with a college, a
We've done
university.
that, right, with Manhattanville?
You know,
I
to
believe.
be able to create that pipeline, and if there could be some sort of stipended result to help the state find the teachers that it's looking for.
Yeah, so we do that with Manhattanville through their Meta Apprentice program. I would love for the state to provide the stipend. Right
Right.
now, the district provides the stipend.
There you go.
But see, at the end of the day, there's still a shallow pool, and
That's
there's
the
lots of
problem.
districts trying to reach in. So we may get a student or two,
Okay.
but we're not getting 10 or 12 that we could use. So because they're going to other districts, maybe more local to where they live. So it's something that every
Another
district is
career.
struggling with,
Yeah.
finding the same talented individuals, especially for hard-to-fill positions. So we do whatever we can to partner with districts. We actually have contracts with many districts in terms of hosting their student teachers and doing all
Right.
that stuff. But the apprentice program through Manhattanville is the closest we have to that. But
Okay.
they're not necessarily a teaching power. They're not.
Right. So one of the things that I said to Sam the other night is that if people could just realize that without teachers, we have no other profession.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
Let's just focus on that for
Yeah,
a second.
yeah.
So I think if we, I don't know, I think if we add something to the letter, I don't think it would hurt to ask the state to say, this is just as much your problem as it is ours. And you're the one that has the money, so, you know, send it on down so we can do something with it. So, I don't know.
I can say that nicely,
Yeah,
I think.
he's much better at wording things than I am. I also wanted to celebrate the fourth grade concert. It was amazing. For those of you who don't know, our fourth grade is like one of our biggest classes. And there were so many children performing. There were 2 bands because the kids just didn't fit in one band. It was a beautiful night, and it was also Maddie Calhoun's last concert.
Yeah.
And so she did a phenomenal job. There was lots of people in the audience, and it was a great night. I wanted to ask if, with the slide presentation that's going to be created, if we could have just a slide reminding everybody to vote that is constantly played on a loop, even from September. Like, let's get this date ingrained in our heads that we're going to come out and vote on that particular date. I don't know if that's a possibility, but highlighting all of the wonderful things that we do in Putnam Valley, and the fact that that wouldn't be able to happen without a budget passing, maybe we could just add the date in there. I don't know. Just a suggestion. And then the breakdown of the voter results. Do we have that yet, or? Yeah. Not yet? Okay, perfect. And I just wanted to give the middle school and also district kudos for the way that they've arranged their classes in middle school. My daughter was able to take her first Regents in 8th grade, and that's going to help her tremendously to kind of get that credit so that she can now start high school and a further advancement, which will eventually wind up in a college advancement, right? And so I just wanted to give kudos to the middle school and to just say if we can provide even more opportunities to our kids to be able to go on an accelerated track in either one, I don't want to use the word track, an accelerated motion towards building credit for high school that will eventually turn into college credit. I think that's a really great opportunity. And I will say that she was very well prepared for that Regents. She was very nervous, but she came home and said it was easy. And so I don't know what kid says that Regents is easy. So kudos to the middle school team for that. And then lastly, just a little plug, 4th grade and 8th grade are getting ready to gear up for their moving up ceremonies. And the PTA is asking for some help from volunteers from both those grade parents and also parents who are not in that grade, because like if 4th grade parents are doing all the work on graduation, they don't really get to enjoy it. So
Right.
if you haven't signed up for something, please check your email because you've probably received an email or 2. And let's fill those slots. Thanks, everybody.
Helen, how are things going?
I'm a silent partner.
You're the silent partner. I know that we had talked earlier about you staying on the policy committee. We really appreciated all the work you've done so far, but we kind of need another board member, and you won't be a board member, you'll be a community member. So Crystal said she would also do it. So if you so you have
You're
those
in for
people.
more excitement than you're going to be able to handle.
It's better than the audit committee.
Hey,
Oh, no, the audit committee's very exciting.
it works, you know?
It's probably a step up from the audit committee. That's probably fair.
We'll see.
Is there a board rep on the district committee?
Oh, on the district advisory committee?
Maureen said there
I
was.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's district safety team.
Oh, the district safety.
Oh,
Is there a
district-
board member on that? Oh, so you haven't had a meeting? Okay, all
There's one
right.
coming.
All right. I was worried that maybe I missed another meeting. So there isn't one on the district?
No? You want it?
Yes.
You're welcome to come join.
Let me know when your next meeting is. Just as a aside, because I thought it was kind of funny, the Lower Hudson Education Coalition sent a memorandum of opposition to the state law being proposed that if classrooms are a certain temperature, they have to send the kids home. But they're objecting because send them home to who? And what does that do for the number of days? And, you know, the state has kind of wedged us in terms of when we can start and when we can stop if we have to send kids home because the classrooms are too hot, you know, and they're giving us, and the bill gave a year for districts to get something in place, like air conditioning in all the rooms. Like, that can't be done that quickly. Anyway, so just so you know, Hudson Education Coalition is working on our behalf to try to make sure that those kind of things that come up and we don't necessarily know about them, they do, and they will write a letter of opposition.
Good,
So
good.
it's good to know that.
They should write a letter on those electric buses, too.
No, you're going to do that.
Okay.
As Dave Kantrowitz would say, it's a great day to be a tiger. Because what other school districts have central air in all of their buildings?
That's true.
So even with the passing of that legislation, it would
We're
never
good.
impact
Yeah.
our buildings,
We're good.
considering that we have air conditioning. Sorry, Crystal's making faces. I think she doesn't have air conditioning in her building.
Well, actually, we're almost there.
Almost.
Cafeteria and the gym are not there yet, but we're going to get there eventually. But like, what did people do
You suffered with
You
the
were
heat,
hot.
believe me.
50
You were
years
hot.
ago?
At the elementary school.
You were hot.
Third floor, 102 degrees.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sitting
third
there
floor-
taking the Earth Science Regents at
The
that
third
time
floor
when it was
bad. The
K9.
third floor was bad.
Yeah, it was real bad.
Anyway.
I just
No-
can't imagine
no air
the
conditioning.
public support a bill like this would get for elementary school, parents of elementary school age
How would
students. Like your kid would be sent home on a bus in the middle of the day every time it got hot out. How are you supposed to work?
Boy, oh boy. That's
Anyway.
crazy.
It's
It's
good to know
true.
we're part of a larger community that's watching out for us when we don't notice these things. when
Agreed,
they come up.
agreed.
So, okay, anything else?
Yeah, I did want to take a moment to recognize, I know that we've done this on several occasions already, but I believe this will be Jill's last board meeting. She does not plan on being here during the June 20th board meeting. So I do want to recognize for the last 7 years what a tremendous partner she's been for me, how much I've learned from her during that time, and really understand how much the role she plays within this school district and how our students have so greatly benefited from her leadership, the cultivation of our business department, and year after year, although they pass too close, passing budgets that are able to sustain our programs, support our staff, and continue to allow our district to grow to what it has become. So I know she will be continuing in a neighboring school district, but it's just as an interim, just to fill in. She's going to get right the ship over there, get them ship shape. But I do want to take this to publicly thank her again for all that she does for the district and all she's done for me as superintendent. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you, and thank you for all of your support through the years. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my staff, obviously, who I refer to as the A-team. That's what we call ourselves, patting ourselves on the back. Thank them for their friendship, their hard work through the years, and no one could ask for a better team. I owe all of my success to them because without them, I couldn't do it. So thank you.
Well, and even tonight at the audit committee, like, we're discussing plans for how to fix things that aren't maybe going exactly the way they should be or whatever, and she's fully involved. She's not like, oh, I'm going to, it's like, it's not like a lame duck administration, like Jill has been actively working for our students, our staff, and our district, and will until she takes that last step out the door. And even then, I know that if somebody calls and adds a question or whatever, that she would, answer. I told her it's hard to be an interim because so much of what she does is with her heart, and it's going to be hard to do that, because it takes time to build that sense of community. But I have complete faith that she will do everything she can, and has done everything she could possibly do for our kids in our community. So, thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
I was 10 years into the district when they hired you, Jill. And you were just remarkable right from the start. And I remember Mr. Lee saying, that's the person that's going to replace me. He knew that. He knew your skills. He knew your ability to catch on very quickly, to master all the things that you need to master as the chief financial officer of a district this large, and the millions of dollars that you have to deal with. And it's a prideful thing. I've seen so many good people leave, and you're one of the best, and you will be missed. I mean that sincerely.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.